So, prepping for an appointment early this morning. Just getting ready to start in about 30 minutes, and I was reflecting on the topic that, quite frankly, as an organization, we probably don't talk enough about. And that's the subject of recruiting. I'll be transparent with you. I was never the quote unquote best or top recruiter. It's not something I wake up in the morning and think about in terms of top of mind, right? But we're fortunate, that as Legal Shield entrepreneurs, we can earn adult income, right? And what do I mean by that? 6 to 7 figure income simply by sharing our services and building a residual income on the strength of simply creating happy members, happy clients. At the end of the day, that's our responsibility, is just simply to share the story, help business owners, help families protect themselves, make better financial decisions, and put themselves at a place where they're better tomorrow than they were today, that their tomorrows are better than their yesterdays, right? However, one of the sure signs that you're building a successful, healthy, thriving business is whether or not you're bringing in new recruits, whether or not you're bringing in new business partners, whether or not you're creating brand advocates for your business, right? Individuals who are enthusiastic and appreciative of the work that you do. What I'd encourage you to consider for this, and I don't care if you're the head of a religious institution, a sports team, if you're building an orchestra, it doesn't matter. We know that the goal for successful sports teams is to win championships, right? And in order for them to do so, they must recruit the most talented players, right? Record labels have to recruit the most talented musicians. Starbucks has to hire more of the most talented individuals who are willing to work for a Starbucks wage. That's the bottom line, right? An orchestra has to constantly be retooling and replenishing its musicians. Well, in business, it's no different, right? At the end of the day, if you're building a business is built upon individuals. You're building an organization. And the bottom line is, as you're building an organization, it's just incumbent upon you to be mindful of the fact that if you want your business to grow, right? If you want your organization to grow, you have to be sure that you're giving a value proposition that's attractive. And so if you're having difficulty attracting talented, passionate, self-motivated professionals to join you in business, look, number one, know that you're not alone, right? I deal with it because, once again, I'll be frank, it's not always top of mind, right? Many associates, though, have difficulty building and scaling their businesses. And unfortunately, most have these difficulties because they're too busy focusing on tools they don't have, right? So I'll hear individuals say, well, if I had Prospect by Legal Shield, if I had the best marketing videos, if I had this, that, and other. Mind you, this company was a corporation with 15 years consecutive growth, had north of $2 billion invested in it over several years when none of these tools existed, right? But people would utilize that as an excuse. So how did individuals build it before the tools, right? How did we get to a point where we're producing $1 million a month before you had all these tools available? They were utilizing, a lot of it had to do with the fact that their confidence, right? They just utilized what was available to them, whether it was a brochure. Some of them utilized a piece of paper or a VHS cassette, right? That's what they were utilizing back in the day. So tools have very little to do with it, right? People are utilizing other excuses. It's either one thing or another, pointing the finger really at everyone but themselves. And if that's you, this webcast may not be for you. I'm going to be transparent with you, right? So hopefully anyone who's watching this doesn't have any glass jaws, if you will, right? So just know you can't make excuses and achieve epic things at the same time. It just doesn't work, right? You have others who are busily trying to get people to join their business, right? You have people that are chasing folks, like running them down, like join my business, right? And look, that simply doesn't work either, at least not long term. If you have to talk, bully, cajole, wear people down in order for them to join your business, join your organization, join anything that you're involved in, you have to ask yourself whether or not it's worth joining, right? The proposition alone should be reason for individuals to want to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing. And you'll get caught up in an endless cycle of constantly having to please others and babysit others when you do things like that. Getting caught up in interactions that have nothing to do with building a successful business or organization, and specifically a successful Legal Shield franchise. Look, this is a social business, but don't get it twisted. It's not a nonprofit endeavor. So financial independence is your goal. It will behoove you to make sure that the majority of the time that you're spending building your Legal Shield franchise is focused on simply creating happy clients and not running people down. However, the primary issue, is that, let's be real, most Legal Shield professionals fail to grasp this type of success in business and once again build thriving teams specifically when it becomes recruiting, because once again, success in recruiting is an inside job. So now let's jump into it. Like, what do I mean by that? The bottom line is, when you wake up in the morning, you allow yourself to buy the opinions, the doubts, excuses, and ignorance of others regarding your legal shield business, or people are going to buy your belief in what it is that you're building. It's that simple. It all starts with who you are, the person you're becoming, and the vision you're taking aim at in terms of the future. And that's why your business is an inside job. That is the number one determinant of whether or not you're going to build anything worthwhile. Your belief. At the end of the day, people don't want to follow wandering generalities, right? They don't want to follow individuals who don't have a good ideal and aren't faith-based and purpose-driven in terms of whatever endeavor you're involved in. Legal Shield is no different. So how do you build belief, right? How do you build confidence? How do you shape self-concept, right? Well, belief as a Legal Shield associate, number one, is built in large part in knowing what you're a part of, right? And, you know, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings here, but this is a business, so I got to be transparent. So let's be real here. At this point, if you're a Legal Shield associate and you're unaware of who the CEO is, you're unaware of who the executive team is, I believe it's fair to say that you're just hustling. You never really made the commitment to building this business. If you're not operating as a real business owner and you don't know who your leadership team is, that's a problem, especially when you consider the names of the individuals who are responsible for your success. Rick Mason, he sits on numerous boards all across the globe, multi-million-dollar attorney, right, who actually was a practicing attorney before he joined Legal Shield. It's called a clue. He dealt with Fortune 500 companies. That was his clientele. He learned about Legal Shield, got so excited, he dropped everything to work with us. That's called a clue. Jeff Bell, former CFO of Microsoft. Let's just start right there. He worked with Gates every single day. That gentleman is responsible for your success, right? He's accessible to you, and most people have no idea. Mr. Darnell Self speaks for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce on a regular basis. He's the first, and I believe now the only African-American entrepreneur within our industry to be recognized as Entrepreneur of the Year. Absolutely incredible. I mean, you got living, walking history right at your fingertips. These people are accessible. Like, you can literally email them. You can instant message them. You can call them on the phone. That's incredible, right? But most people have no idea. This is your leadership. John Hoffman, the head of Shield Nation, the organization that we are a part of, our parent organization, if you will, right? John Hoffman, literally about 5 to 10 hours a week, sometimes 20. That's the amount of time he's investing in his business. He earns well in excess of $500,000. He's close to $750,000 a year, part-time. And he provides videos, provides tutorials, provides talks like the one you're participating now, almost on a daily basis. He has a website, a curriculum full of over 60 individuals who are earning 6- and 7-figure incomes. Some of them getting to the point where they're knocking on 7+ incomes per year. Most of them doing it part-time, and all they do is say, this is how I did it, right? John Long, Glenn Peterson, John Addison. You should recognize who John Addison is. He is the former founder and CEO of Primerica. Guess what? He's on our executive team. These are individuals who are on your board of directors, if you will, if you want to think about it like that. Stone Point Capital and Mid-Ocean Partners. They are private equity firms that partner with us. They saw so much value in what we're doing. In other words, they saw so much value in you and I, right? Because at the end of the day, Legal Shield doesn't make a dime unless you and I go out and share the stories. That's what makes our company special. We don't put commercials on the television set. So when someone makes a decision to invest in our company, they're investing in you and I. They chose to invest over $2 billion. So the company that you are a franchise owner just had a $2 billion investment. And you know, my business mentors have always taught me, if you want to know why people make certain decisions, whether they be politicians or business owners, follow the money. That's called a huge clue, right? You should look them up. Look up Stone Point Capital. Look up Mid-Ocean Partners. Look up Decision Analysts. They're responsible for branding companies like Johnson & Johnson, AT&T, Budweiser, Coca-Cola. Some of these multi-billion-dollar household names, those are our corporate partners, right? So if you're not aware of this, of course you wouldn't have the belief. You wouldn't have the swag to go out and share the story about the company you're a part of, right? When you have that type of backing, that type of leadership, the individuals whom I just named have the utmost credibility in the world. They operate globally. And quite frankly, the only thing they do is win. You look at the track record, right? Frank Schiff, Alistair Edwards, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on. So if any of these names don't ring a bell, that's a problem, right? If you're a serious entrepreneur, you got to know who your corporate partners are. So let me help you out. The majority of individuals and business entities, once again, I'm referring to, they operate in multi-billion-dollar budgets, and they operate in multi-billion-dollar spaces. You have nothing to be concerned about in terms of our future and what's transpiring now. And consider for a moment, while other companies are going out of business like Sears, Borders, iHeartRadio. Yeah, iHeartRadio is getting ready to file bankruptcy. The #1 radio broadcast station in the world is getting ready to catch an L. And most people aren't even aware of it. But they're questioning Legal Shield. We just had a $2 billion investment. Kodak, gone. Circuit City, gone. Entire industries, automotive companies, insurance companies, trillion-dollar industries have experienced ups and downs, and many of them have literally gone out of business. Legal Shield has continually grown, continually attracted billion-dollar corporate partners, produced a regular stream of homegrown multimillionaires. That's the other thing that makes our company special. People aren't coming from other companies and becoming multimillionaires. They're coming here and becoming multimillionaires. Year in and year out, month in and month out. It's incredible. Now, let's take a look at our organization on a micro level, right? If you need reason to have more belief in terms of what we're doing as an organization here in Detroit Metro, but quite frankly, our organization spans across the United States. Once again, if you're part of our organization, Team New Rising, you're not aware of that, I would say that's a problem, right? On a micro level, 30% of individuals who join our organization fast start qualifying. Now, why is that important? That means 30%, that means 1 out of 3 individuals who make the decision to join Legal Shield and participate in our organization, utilizing our systems, employing our leadership, 30% of individuals earn $1,000 within their first week to 14 days. Those aren't my opinion. That's not hyperbole. That's our statistics. That's what happens when people join our organization. $1,000 plus within their first 7 to 10 days. That's something we should be very proud of. We regularly qualify on the leadership board for MAD 3 qualifiers. That means that almost everyone who joins our organization earns at least $300, almost everyone, within their first 5 to 7 days, right? And so you need to know that, right? Whether you qualified or not, whether you had that type of success or not, you need to know we have a culture and we have a system that absolutely works. Our names in our organization ring out week in and week out on an international leadership board on a regular basis. In other words, people who are joining our organization, they're recouping their investment, they're helping people, they're earning significant income, and they're plugged in building thriving businesses that are allowing people to live lives of satisfaction. So while people are literally laying down dreaming about these things, we're out there making it happen. And you need to be aware of that, right? Our organization is different. Right, we're not. We don't have a culture here where people are going to automatically run out and about and talk about how much money they're wearing. We don't preach wearing the most expensive watches and buying the most expensive cars. Now, some of us do that. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm saying it's not something that we necessarily promote. So you may not be aware of the success if you're not plugged into the events, if you're not on the conference calls, right? When we have local events taking place and you make the decision not to participate, you're basically denying yourself the opportunity to participate in the success culture, because that's what's happening, right? On a micro level. Something else that you may want to focus on if you're having trouble building belief, right? Because once again, success is an inside job. We're talking about belief here. Use of the membership, calling the law firm, utilizing the Go Small Biz Consultants, completing the provider law firm attorney concern form. That's right, we have an attorney law firm attorney concern form. What does that mean? If you yourself or if you know someone who did not have a good experience with one of the attorneys, did you know that you can call up corporate and they will deal with that attorney directly? To put it in perspective for you, we pay Powers and Chapman. That's our local law firm here in Michigan. We pay all of our law firms between $250,000 to $2 million per month. We pay Powers and Chapman $500,000, not per year, per month. We are their #1 paying client. In other words, Legal Shield members are their most important clients. And did you know if an attorney exercises bad bedside manner, if they don't execute something that you ask them to do, right, that's within your rights, right? Just keep that in mind. Their job is to do what's legally within your rights, not necessarily everything you want to do. It might not be legally within your rights, right? But if they don't execute, you can contact corporate. Corporate will contact that law firm. And these law firms know that they're up for evaluation every 3 months, which means if they get too many complaints, they lose a $500,000, some of them $2 million a month contracts. You can make that happen. That's important to know, right? That's what makes us different, accountability. You contact an attorney outside of Legal Shield and they don't do a good job, they don't do what you've asked them to do, they don't return your phone calls, they don't review a document when you expect them to review it, what do you do about it? Nothing. You just spent your money and you're upset. With us, there's consequences you can bring to these attorneys' lives. Be aware of that. You are the owner of your Legal Shield franchise. These attorneys, in essence, think about it. They work for you, right? They're kind of like your employees, believe. So know that's available, right? I can't tell you how many times I've utilized that service and watched our law firm swing into action and respond when I filled out an attorney concern form and brought it to their attention that something wasn't right. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen attorneys be dismissed for not doing their jobs either, right? Because while we can't promise perfection, it is our responsibility to make sure that our clients receive and are served and protected as best we can. So what am I saying indirectly, right? Part of building belief in your business is being a student of your business, right? Actually taking the time to study and to understand your compensation plan is a big piece of that as well. Look, admittedly, I find it mildly entertaining. I'm going to be so transparent and so real here. When I see Legal Shield associates, particularly in our organization, on social media, broadcasting their discontent with their jobs, being laid off, feeling insecure about living check-to-check lifestyles, complaining about their boss or their superiors. And look, don't get me wrong, because I used to have a job, so I empathize at the same time. But I'm thinking, waka fuck, I mean, really? Waka faka, for real. You really don't know what you have. If you were online complaining about not having enough money, I helped a new associate, brand spanking new. He still doesn't even know how to spell Legal Shield. Just over the course of 3 days, earning in excess $1,200. He literally spent 3 hours total time in his business. Over $1,000. So, it's obvious to me that people really don't even understand the compensation plan and understand how much we actually compensate individuals for protecting families. Let me put it in perspective for you. And I can't spend all day on this, right? Because I don't want to monopolize people's time, and my appointment just arrived here. He's being gracious. But if you simply protected 5 families a month, 5, not 10, not 100. If you just protected 5 families a month, so you can do that in one day. You can do that 1 week. So you can do it over the course of a week and just quit. You're done building your Legal Shield business for the month. You just protect 5 families. The average compensation is $140. That means $700 a month. That's $8,400 a year. And on top of the $8,400 a year, you would also be paid a bonus of between $125 and $500. So once you've been in the business for literally over a year for just 5 memberships a month, that's it. Not 100, not 200, none of that. For literally 5 yeses per month, you could be earning $1,200 a month for just 5, right? So you're not crushing it. You're part-time, spare time, right? And think about this. People are working 2 and 3 jobs to earn that type of income. 2 and 3 jobs, part-time jobs to earn that type of income, right? After 5 years, if you just did 5 per month, you're not doing 100, you're not doing 200, you're not a superstar, you're not part-time, you're spare time, right? You don't even have a Legal Shield pin. You don't have Legal Shield socks, t-shirt, nothing. You're just doing it part-time. Do you know after 5 years of just 5 per month, that's it, just 5 per month, 5 little $20, $40 transactions, after 5 years, Legal Shield will pay you $20,000 year in and year out moving forward. That would be your approximate income, $20,000 after 5 years. Man, people work jobs for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and don't earn $20,000 a year. It's not waiting for them, right? Because pensions are gone. And if you still believe in job security today, you might as well believe in tooth fairy. So that's not happening for individuals. Think about that from a part-time, spare time. We have business owners who are a part of our organization. They're grinding every single day. Maybe they've been, and I'm not knocking their businesses, right? I own 2, 3 other businesses as well. So I'm not knocking anyone for having a business outside of Legal Shield, but I'm just trying to draw a comparison here, right? I'm trying to be transparent. You have individuals who wake up from 5 o'clock in the morning to 10 p.m. at night building a business. And if they quit today, if they just stop working, stop taking on clients, they shut everything down right now, all the revenues will stop. And here in Legal Shield, you don't have to take the business seriously. You can just be doing 5 a month. And after 5 years, your business will pay you $20,000 indefinitely, year in and year out for the rest of your life. And then for those who want to talk about legacy building, the income continues after you die, and after your children die, and after their children die. That's what will be paid out after 5 years of just part-time, spare time work. Just imagine if you took your business seriously. Okay, so I'm done with that. I went a little bit further than I wanted to, but I think you get the point, right? And that doesn't account the bonuses and trips, the fact that we're giving away Jeep Trailblazers for just 5 transactions. That's crazy, right? So we talked a little bit about how to build belief, right? Which basically is being a student of your business and knowing what it is that you have, right? But how do you build confidence? Look, it's simple. You know, work and do side by side with the individuals, the legal show entrepreneurs who are actually doing it as opposed to talking about it. All right, you're fortunate in the sense that, and I'm just be transparent here, you know, I think I don't do a bad job. You have several individuals here in the Michigan market who are knocking down $100 to $200 to $500,000 per year who are responsible for your success. You have national leadership, individuals who are knocking down $750, $1 million plus per year who are responsible for assisting you. Now you have to show yourself deserve it, right? You just can't be chirping and not doing anything. But the bottom line is, it's just like in any endeavor, right? When you go to school to become a pilot, you have to fly with an experienced pilot for a little while, right? Before they allow you to actually fly that plane by yourself. If you have a business where, quite frankly, let's say you have a catering business, someone who just completed a class as a chef, you're not going to send them out in the field to serve your clients, right? There would be a period of mentorship. There would be a period of direct. It's no different here in Legal Shield. Part of building confidence is being willing to be coachable and work side by side with individuals who are having the success that you aspire to, right? And I'll be frank, a lot of us, we spend so much time in critiquing and investing the roots that other people are picking our fruit. And I'll just leave it at that, right? So listen to a conference call. Hear about what we're doing. Hear from individuals who are earning and having $1,000 days in the business. Then you try it, right? Rob, steal, and duplicate. Eat the fruit, spit out the seed. The things you can do, do. You know, read the book of the month. Attend a training. Pick up the phone and ask someone to accompany you on an appointment, right? Treat this business like a student. You know, we have a company, once again, that's producing families that earn $1 million on a monthly basis. Every week, our associates in Legal Shield are knocking out 6-figure incomes. Think about it for a moment. If you started a job, let's say you interviewed with GE, Google, Microsoft, for any type of occupation, to be transparent for the most part, and that occupation paid you $100,000 plus per year for 20 hours a week worth of work. Look, everyone understands that you would have to normally do what? 16 plus years of school between middle school, high school, and college, and then you definitely have to have a post-undergrad degree in the majority of these cases. Your legal business is no different. This is a skilled trade. So part of becoming confident in building your business is treating it like that. Now, you don't have to go to school for 15 and 16 and 20 years to earn grown adult income in Legal Shield, but you have to be willing to jump on the conference call, read the book of the month, and be mentored, right? Cut down that learning curve. And by being a focused student and modeling what you hear and what you learn and what you know, you'll begin executing, you'll become more comfortable, right? And you just keep doing it and moving forward, right? It starts to become second nature because you're constantly learning, improving, and doing, right? You're treating it like a skilled trade. So, you know, that's one of the ways in which you build confidence. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna be so real with you right now. If you're a blamer, if you're an excuse maker, if you're a hater, if you're a negative Nancy, like there are people who are having success and you have the unmitigated nerve to sit on the sideline and critique them, and they're having the success you aspire to, you might want to reevaluate your thinking and your philosophies in life. I'll just leave it like that, right? No real successful entrepreneur in any type of business, much less Legal Shield, is going to slow down to help you out if you're one of those type of individuals. We don't have time. See, I'm not your boss. I'm not your manager. You're a Legal Shield entrepreneur. You have an ownership interest in one of the fastest growing companies, not just in North America, because as of this year, we broke into the UK. So you are part of one of the fastest growing companies in the world. I'm participating too. I'm building too. We all are, right? That's the beauty of our business. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all on the same playing field, right? No one is no one else's boss or this, that, and other. I can't tell you what to do, right? So if you're gonna ask any of us, whether people are knocking down $5, $6, $7, $8 incomes, look, figure incomes, know that we're building our business too. So you have to kind of be transparent. You got to kind of earn our time. Doesn't take much, but being negative, you won't get any of it, right? So you have some small-minded people around here entertaining that stuff, but anyone that's trailblazing, driving forward, doing something epic, right? No, you can't do epic stuff. You can't achieve epic results with tiny base people hanging around you, right? It is what it is. So how do you improve your self-concept? Because that's another part of success being an inside job. It's how you feel about yourself as well. So it's belief, it's confidence, but what's your self-concept? Look, no one moving forward in life is going to work with anyone, want to partner with anyone, want to be involved with anyone who's a wandering generality. So growing your self-concept at the end of the day means growing you. That's part of success in recruiting being an inside job too. So are you reading the book of the month? Are you growing? Are you becoming more informed? If you're sitting across the table from a CFO, a CEO, an HR director, a business owner is already knocking down 200, 500K per year, and you want them to join your business, you want them to take you seriously, but you're not reading on a daily basis. I mean, you hear it from former President Barack Obama. We hear it from Oprah Winfrey. We hear it from Gates. We hear it from Buffett. You hear it from the individuals who occupy the top 1% and 2%, they're daily readers. It's called a clue. In order to be successful, you got to be willing to do what successful do. That's part of the deal, right? And that's part of your self-concept. So, look, if people aren't joining your organization, you have to be a little bit honest about yourself. Are you being attractive? Are you doing the things that successful people do? Because game recognizes game. Do you have a list of affirmations that you spend time with vision casting about? What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying about yourself when you wake up in the morning? What kind of person are you taking aim at to be in the future? Right? When you're sitting in front of a successful person, no, they've already mapped out the next 3 to 5 years of their life. And for someone who's really serious, they've mapped out the next 20, 30, 40, and then they're thinking about the next generation. And you're sitting across the table from them, and we can tell in your language, they can tell in your language whether or not you've mapped out your future. So if you haven't mapped out your future, if you haven't reverse engineered your future, if you don't have a clear destination in mind, why would they want to partner with you? Like, I'm being transparent. This type of stuff that people won't tell you, right? They're going to tell you just go out, share the tools, and the magic happens. No, this is an inside job. A lot of it has to do with how much time you spend working on you, right? So, what are you doing to become stronger, to go further, to go farther? What are you doing to become more valuable every single day? Time is money, right? And two things that people who are successful, we watch all day, every day, is how we spend our time and how we spend our money, right? In other words, if by someone sitting across the table from you, if just by virtue of them sitting across the table from you, they're not bringing value and making you more valuable, that's how people evaluate who are moving forward, how they spend their time. Is this person I'm sitting across the table from contributing something to my success? It doesn't always need to be monetary. Sometimes it just can be insight, knowledge, experience that you have. What are you doing to become that person? So when people ask you what you do for a living, what is Legal Shield? Look, do you know what your value proposition is? This is part of your self-concept. Do you know what it means to be a Legal Shield entrepreneur, right? All this plays a part in shaping your self-concept and what you're projecting to the world. And if you don't know, reach out to a Legal Shield entrepreneur who is actively building to acquire some insight in terms of how to answer that question. Take a moment, once again, reverse engineer your life. Write down your acceptance speech for the recognition you desire, whether it be in your church, whether it be in your community, whether it be in your organization, whether it be as a Legal Shield entrepreneur. Map that out. See your success and what you say when you're being recognized for it, right? What are you wearing? Who's surrounding you when you achieve the goals you desire, right? Write down the dollar amount that maybe you want to give altruistically. For me, I don't always share what my goals and objectives are, but my goal is to reach a point where on a yearly basis, I can literally give away in excess of $10 million per year through an organization or charity I'm a part of. That's part of my goal. I want to reach a point where I can literally cut checks in excess of $10 million on a yearly basis to support entrepreneur development, educational, intellectual development within the African American community, right? That's one of my goals, right? What are your goals? If you have a goal to give back altruistically, right? Support those whom you love, know, or trust, or those whom you just feel a kinship with or a cause you want to contribute to. Write down all the things that you're going to do when you're working, not because you have to, but because you want to. Like, what does that lifestyle look like, right? review all of this on a daily basis. Like, make it literally a part of your modus operandus, if you will. That's what this is all about, right? Creating the future that you want to create and attracting individuals who would be attracted to that future. So review this stuff, right? Spend more time in chiseling the best you, as opposed to watching television, spending time on social media, listening to the radio, et cetera, et cetera. Think about it. Should you spend more time reflecting on your personal vision for your life, for yourself, as opposed to watching others achieve theirs and broadcast theirs? I'm not mad at athletes. I'm not mad at musicians. I'm not mad at people living their best lives, but I am more inclined to be a fan of me and my children and my family and the things I want to accomplish, as opposed, I'm not going to clap for someone harder than I'm going to clap for myself. Let's just put it that way, right? So, look, at the end of the day, you have to win the day. Either you're spending time buying the vision and desires of others, or buying the desires and wishes of yourself, right? And striving for your highest self. You're going to end up one of two places. You're going to buy what the world believes about you, and that may not be a good thing, or you're going to buy into what's possible for you. So where do you find the tools? How do you utilize the tools? That's easy. Inviting people to look at tools, it's not rocket science. Building a leadership franchise is incredibly inexpensive. It's one of the greatest investments you can make, but the number one investment you can make in you is literally in you, right? And that is why scaling your business and expanding in other markets, what we call recruiting, is an inside job. So, hopefully this brief overview gives you a little bit of insight in terms of what's required, not just to be successful in your Legal Shield franchise, but quite frankly, be successful in life. Like, success principles are universal. You can apply everything that's been shared here in any endeavor you're involved in, right? Whether you're trying to, once again, build a nonprofit, whether you're working within your church or within your community, whether you're building your Legal Shield business, maybe you have a business or a franchise that you're building independent of Legal Shield, right? Belief in yourself, learning how to become more confident and competent, and understanding self-concept, and understanding that success, once again, begins inside you. It happens first here before it happens out there. So with that being said, I'm going to turn my attention to the appointment here has been patiently waiting for me to finish this overview. Everyone have a fantastic day. Crush it.